Dave is with us from
Hi.
Manx Animal Rescue and, of course, Vannin Reptilia. Normally, we are talking about snakes, but something a bit different today because we're starting a new monthly feature with you. Our creature feature. Do you like what we did there?
Very good.
Yeah. Before we come to the critters that are in the studio right now, the last time we spoke to you, you were raising money for a trailer. How's it going?
Slow and steady, but the time of year, I think most people are trying to help Santa out as much as possible. With all the COVID restrictions and everything, he's needing as much help as he can get. So we're not too worried.
Yeah, and this is to convert this trailer that's been donated to you by the TT Marshall so that you can educate kids around the island
That's
about
right, yep.
animals. Yeah. Well, if you do want to support that, again, just remind people what the best way to get in touch with you is.
You can contact us through Facebook. We do have a website, which I think is manxarc.im. Or my phone number is available on the website as well, and Facebook.
Excellent. But we've got scorpions, H. The
We
scorpions here.
We have. They are, yes, so they're just in front of Dave at the moment. And these are, I think there is five? One, two,
There
three.
was.
Oh, four now.
Yeah, there
There are
is.
four. Yeah. And these are all baby ones in essence.
Yep, they're all tinies. They're 4 months old, 5 months old now. So they've got 6-7 years on them. So they'll keep growing for the next 18 months.
Right.
So at the moment, they're just, kind of like a centimetre big by the
About the same
roughly.
size as an adult's thumb now.
Yeah, and how big will they get?
About 5-6 inches in length.
That's a fair size, isn't it? Yeah.
It
When they're
is.
actually full size, they would be. So these ones, when they came up and Dave had them in a small container, we'll talk about a little bit more about the larger. Is it a vivarium? Or
That's
I don't know.
right, yeah.
Oh, that was good,
Ooh,
wasn't it?
harken you with your
Hey, that was good.
syllables.
Hey,
He's learning
Yeah.
stuff.
hey. And they're in a smaller tub at the moment because they're only tiny. But yes, it's they were difficult to see at first. You wouldn't see any at all, and then we were looking, and we'll post a little video shortly of seeing them coming out and scuttling around a little bit. But they are, which is one of the interesting things we might come to, that they're sort of born live, as it were.
That's right, yeah.
I think a lot of people, I always thought they might sort of hatch out of an egg or something, but that's not the case.
Oh, scorpions give live birth to around about 40 to 80, depending on the species. And then mum carries them around on her back for the first few weeks just to give them a bit
All
of
of them?
protection. Yep, all of them.
All 80 mini scorpions on a bag.
Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine seeing that coming towards you?
It's quite good though, because they are white. So compared to the colour of the scorpion, they stand out really well.
Yeah. And you know what? Here I am sort of like flinching and just being a little bit wary of them. Should we be massively scared of scorpions?
I think some are very dangerous. The ones we've got here aren't, so you don't need to panic quite so much. Easiest way to tell as a rough guideline is the size of their pincers. If they've got pincers that are like a pair of tweezers, then the toxicity of their sting is very strong because they don't need to hold on to the prey for very long. If they've got big pincers, then obviously they need to hold the prey for longer before they can feed, so it means that they're not as strong to sting.
That's interesting. So we know how to determine now, H, if one comes towards us, whether to run or take a second look at it and then run.
Yeah.
It's not 100%, but it's pretty close.
Okay.
So are there lots of different types? I think a lot of people might just think, well, a scorpion's a scorpion.
Around
That's it.
about 1,500 different species.
Wow, that's crazy, isn't it?
Wow,
And
that is
that doesn't
crazy.
include your subspecies and your regional variations.
Yeah, I did spot actually. I was looking for largest scorpion online earlier. Apparently, there is an African species which is found in Guinea, and it grows up to a body length of about 18 centimetres, which is essentially a tenth of the size of Danny DeVito. Just
Doesn't
so you
say
know,
that.
Only a tenth.
only a tenth of the size of Danny DeVito, and it weighs 60 grams, which is about the same weight as a tennis ball, or 2/3 of as heavy as a deck of cards. That's a big scorpion. And is quite heavy.
Yeah, it's very chunky.
Yeah.
It is fairly chunky.
So they do get quite large. Do they make good pets?
They make interesting pets. Good pets comes down to a perspective of whether you like them or you don't. If you're terrified of them, then probably not the pet for you. If you like something that's interesting, that's pretty alien, then they're fantastic.
I mean, can you play with them?
I don't think they'd be very good on a football pitch. It'd take a long time to put their football boots on. And they'd probably burst the ball if they stung it.
That's true, the big pincers.
Yeah.
So what is the best way to keep them? Because you've got a wonderful orb over there, really. I was saying of a variant. So this is, I mean, is it difficult to keep them? Presumably you have to keep them in a certain way at a certain temperature.
Keeping them is quite simple and straightforward. So long as you get the basics right, it's the same with every exotic you keep. If you get the temperatures right, the humidity right, and you feed them the right foods, they're very low maintenance. You can set the enclosures up so that they're bioactive. So there's bugs in there that break down the feces and you don't ever have to clean them out. But yeah, and you can dress it as you want to. So if you're a football fan, you can do your local football team or Lego. We've got a pirate in the one that I brought in today because it was hanging around the house.
And what do they eat?
Crickets, mealworms are the most prominent forms, but you can obviously feed them waxworms and a selection of other bugs that you can get available for reptile food.
Obviously. We have asked you for our creature feature to come up with 5 fun facts about our various creatures. So, talking about scorpions then, Dave, tell us about them.
Right, well, you gave me loads of preparation time, so...
About 4 minutes, I apologise.
I'm pretty sure I could have come up with some better ones, but these are the ones I've gone for. So, in 5th place, in some countries, scorpions are served as treats to eat.
Oh,
I've seen that. Yeah,
you've tried one, haven't you?
I'm not like Dave's talking about, but I think we were just chatting off air beforehand, and someone did once give me for Christmas. It was like a small dried scorpion in a sort of piece of toffee or something like that.
Oh, like Gary, Gary tried. Yeah. Okay, so there's one, yeah.
Yeah. In 4th place, a parent scorpion. We've already mentioned this actually. A parent scorpion carries the babies on their back for the first few weeks of life, purely to protect them, because they're very, very vulnerable. In 3rd, the size of a scorpion's pincers are usually a good indication of the toxicity.
That's the most useful tip, isn't it? That's definitely the most useful tip.
So if it's got a big claw, it's not as dangerous as if it's got a really tiny one. In 2nd place, scorpions have been called land lobsters. Now that's a good one to try and say quickly. I got it right.
Land lobster.
Yep. And then in 1st place, some scorpions glow under ultraviolet light.
They glow in the dark.
Yeah, they're literally like glowing. You know the stars that you can get to stick around the room? They will glow like that.
Wow.
But don't stick your scorpions around the room.
No,
not good. Why is that? Why is that useful?
I don't know why it's useful. I don't know whether it's just something in the shell that makes them do that.
Have you tried it? Have you had a chance to try it?
I've not tried with these guys, no. I have seen scorpions lit under dark light when I worked across, but not recently.
There you go. Well, that is fascinating. We have learned all about scorpion.
It's terrific, isn't it? And I think the main thing, again, is like any of these, isn't it? It's a case of, as we were saying, whether it's a pet for you. It's not like a pet like having a cat or a dog necessarily. It is something where obviously you need to look after them. You need to be interested in them. But I think the great thing is, and some people say, oh, they don't really make it. You shouldn't have them as pets. But if you're interested, the main thing is, isn't it? You then find out more about them, you find out more about these facts, and then once you're interested, your interest normally goes on to where they live, where's their habitat, and then it's protecting all these things in the wild where that you actually might find them naturally and without people being interested in them. Then no one's got an interest in preserving them.
Yeah.
You mentioned a very good point there, that people keeping these as pets is a very good way of understanding and being educated about the plight in the wild.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the thing, isn't it?
Well, we will be learning next month about a whole different creature. Don't tell us yet. In fact, you could just surprise us if you want. Yeah.
Got a couple of nice ideas.
Okay, well, if it's bigger than the studio, we might need warning. That's all I'm saying.
Should be able to get it in.
Well, Dave Kelly from Vannin Reptilia and Manx Animal Rescue, thank you so much. It's been sort of a delight. Yes, it has. It's been a delight to meet the scorpions, hasn't it, Howard?
Yeah. Have you got a little sting you can play?
Oh.